Kailee.
And I'm Kristin, and welcome back to the P Stands for Podcast, the only podcast where we make one podcast every 10 years, and only if someone asks us to.
Kristin, today I would really appreciate if we could talk about Jonathan Groff's wet mouth.
I would be honored. Truly, his moist... Ew, I was going to say hole, but then I changed my mind.
Don't say that.
This
is a no edits podcast. You can't say things like that.
His moistened lips made me flinch in fear.
They have to mop the stage every time he's done singing.
I bet they do. They send a techie with a mop and just push it across real fast.
Or maybe he's wearing mops on his feet, on the bottom of his shoes.
Oh no. When he's doing his little dance, that's him mopping up his own spit.
Really just mopping up his own spit.
Oh my God. Well, if you have no idea what we're talking about, where have you been? Hamilton.
Yeah. We're going to talk about Hamilton. I feel like we should preface this with a disclaimer that the actual people in Hamilton, pretty terrible. But the show...
Oh, it's wonderful. I saw a tweet that was I have some reservations about watching Hamilton because of its historical inaccuracy. A lot of those dance numbers never happened, and I thought that was really funny.
I read something that said Hamilton is basically Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah, I'm learning, but...
These are real people. They didn't do any of these. They did some of those things, but they weren't like this, but you should probably learn for yourself about them.
Them just chanting off the years that stuff happened in the musical have helped me to remember dates that are part of my country's history that I didn't really remember before because I'm dumb.
And it's also pretty great, the fact that it's available to watch, because hopefully we'll set a precedent to record and distribute Broadway shows to a larger audience.
Yes.
Even though
poor.
It's still on Disney Plus, which is an issue, but it's a starting place.
You can just do what our dear friend Emily did and get a Disney Plus subscription for one day only, and then cancel it after watching Hamilton.
Yeah, or pirate it.
Yeah, you could do that too. Just buy some Hamilton merchandise or something.
Well, Kristin, you had some things written down you want to talk about. We can talk about how we saw Hamilton.
We did. We saw it. I can't remember what year it is, but did we see it? Was it 20?
We were
18? 2017. It was winter.
Were we juniors?
Yeah.
Or was it our senior year?
No, we would have been.
We were juniors because we didn't graduate right after seeing Hamilton.
No, we weren't done. But yeah, we did. We made a day trip to Chicago to see it. We woke up at 7 and just started driving, and then got there, saw it, ate dinner, and then drove back to school. And we got back at 1 a.m.?
Yeah, it was definitely 1 or 2 in the morning. And then that was Sunday, so we went to class the next morning.
Yeah, I had to work at 7 a.m. the next day.
Yeah, and the day before that, I had a thing where we were up at 6 and doing...
Yeah, you guys were gone all day.
So that was a long weekend, but
it was really fun, though. The performance, it was so good. All I really remember, I was telling my family this when we were watching Hamilton, because we watched it together as a family, that because it was winter, we had our winter coats, and normally, I just have at least one Kleenex in my pocket because your nose gets a little sniffly in the wintertime. But I didn't think that I was going to cry during Hamilton because I'd heard the soundtrack all the way through, like at least 3 times, and had not cried once. But when I saw it live, I cried really hard. And the only thing I had in my jacket was like the dust of a Kleenex that had been in my pocket for way too long. And I remember like dabbing my eyes and being like, oh no, it's really sad.
That
And, you know,
we
it was a
bought
great time.
the restricted view seats because they were cheaper.
Yeah.
So we couldn't see the top half of the stage where they have like the
Yeah, like that
things on the
platform.
side where they're like up on the second level. We couldn't see anything happening up there. But it wasn't
I mean, worth
terrible.
it. Weren't the tickets were like $130 or something,
Yeah.
which is really good.
And most of the stuff doesn't happen up there.
Yeah, it's just kind of extras, chorus stuff. Every
So it was
once in
still
a
great.
while, a character would come down the steps from up there, and you'd be like, oh, where are they? And there he is.
And then the dinner we had was really good too.
Yeah, that was really good.
We had
Basically,
our own private alcove.
we lived like kings that one day.
Yeah.
Living in high society life in Chicago, seeing a musical, and then having dinner, and then driving back and eating Skittles.
Pretty fun. It made me
Yeah.
think about like listening to the songs versus seeing them,
Mm-hmm.
and how there were some songs that aren't necessarily my top favorites to listen to, but were like I had such a new appreciation for them seeing them live.
Yeah.
Like I remember specifically Right Hand Man, where there's all the like boom and the people were like jumping and lights were flashing. It looked so cool
Mm-hmm.
live. And
It
also
really.
Farmer Refuted. That was a great song to
Oh,
see.
yes. Well,
That
and
was
then
so fun.
you just get um a little bit more humor in there too, because you can tell, like when you're listening to the song, you can't really tell that they're messing with that guy that much, Samuel Seabury. But then when you watch it, you like he moves his little box to get out of their way, and then they keep coming at him. It's very fun.
Your favorite song on the soundtrack, and then your favorite song to see.
Oh, I really, really like George Washington's voice. And so I think my favorite song would have to be One Last Time because I
Yeah,
just love him. Christopher Jackson, man.
I know that song is
So
beautiful.
good. And I mean, and I also love the whole part that's just a speech. Like they're not even super singing. Well, he does sing like
Yeah.
halfway into it, but I mean, you put a speech in a song, amazing. Favorite song that's actually all the way through? Ugh. I mean, I think What Did I Miss? Well, I always really liked that song, but then having seen it now with the original cast, I mean, Daveed Diggs is already awesome, but just getting to see up close, like he's bouncing around, he's having fun.
Your
There's a
song
whole
is
bunch of
fun.
stuff happening on stage. I think that one was really fun.
I think my favorite song to listen to, I mean, it changes, but recently I really like Washington on Your Side.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the three of them singing, and then like the lyrics too, like the wordplay and the
Uh-huh.
cleverness. It's so fun. And then
That's
to
awesome.
see, I mean, I love the helpless and satisfied. It's
Yes.
just so cool. And Satisfied itself is also a top tier song.
Mm-hmm. I really loved. It's funny. Well, okay, because I had forced my mom and my brother to listen to the soundtrack once in the car. So they had heard the songs, but they didn't really remember them, I don't think, because it was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And they've never seen it, obviously. So then when they watched it afterward, they were both really impressed by the spinning stage.
Yeah.
And also, my mom was just like, I love all the songs with the women. Like, they're just so good. And all of their voices are beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Watching it, I watched it with my family. And one of the things that my mom and my grandma both said, I think it was during Helpless when they were like asking who Eliza was. They were like, her voice was just beautiful. It's like, yeah. They both had listened to it too. I made my mom listen to it with me recently when we drove from Florida to Fargo and we had lots of time to listen to music.
Yes.
And I listened to it with my grandma once. Like we drove to UNI. So that, again, was a long drive.
You're like, I know just what we need to listen to. Settle in.
Yeah, but that was also a while ago, and then it's a lot different to see it. They enjoy it, even though they didn't pay that much attention the whole time.
Yeah. Kaylee sent me a Snapchat of her whole family. They're sitting in the living room, and all of them, the three adults, her grandparents and her mom, were on their phones.
My mom was watching videos about how to paint cabinets.
I was like, the disrespect is disgusting to me. How
But
could you
recently
do
asked
this?
me if we could watch it again, and I was like, yes, Grandpa.
My mom said we should watch
Anytime
it
you
again
want.
this morning, and I was like, absolutely. When do you want to?
Yes. It has to be a Monday because that's the only day of the week that I don't have to work at baseball games. Or a Sunday night because there's day games on Sunday, so I'll be home by like 6.
Okay. Kaylee is actually a professional baseball player now.
Yeah.
It's been so long since we've made a podcast that Kaylee has built a successful career in baseball.
Yep. Also, so the first time that I watched Hamilton, it came out July 3rd,
Mm-hmm.
and that was opening night of baseball, so I had to do work. And there were fireworks after the game, so I didn't get home until 11:30, and I was like, but Hamilton. So I did start watching it at like midnight, and I did not finish it because that is a very long show, and I was very, very tired. But I got to Room Where It Happens, and I fell asleep. But I didn't even realize that I fell asleep. It was like I closed my eyes, and I opened them, and all of a sudden it was like the end of Reynolds' pamphlet going into Burn, and I was like, is this... I don't think this is how this happens. I'm pretty sure there's a few things that got skipped. It was so confusing for a second. And I
Oh
was like,
no, they cut out a large chunk of the musical.
that was an interesting choice to make. I'm not sure that this makes a lot of sense here.
We watched it during dinner. Okay, well, so I told my family, I was like, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I said, we're not stopping at all. But then I had to pee. So I waited patiently until there was a spot. And I said, okay, we can pause it right now. Everybody
Amazing.
take a bathroom break. Yeah. And then like 5 minutes later, there was an actual intermission built in. And I'm like, are you kidding me? They didn't say that. I never saw that anywhere. Like, oh, don't worry, there's an intermission.
I'll let Manuel Miranda say that there was an intermission.
I must have missed that. But I felt very silly. And then my family made fun of me because they were like, I thought you said we weren't stopping for anything. I'm like, well, okay, if I have to pee, I have to pee. Sorry.
Yeah. So I have created a bracket of Hamilton songs. Would you
Yes.
like to duke it out now?
I would love to debate me, baby.
So I just typed in all the songs, and this bracket did it. like put it in like seating, whatever. I don't know
Okay, yeah,
how that works, but whatever.
whatever.
I'm just gonna do what the bracket tells me to.
It might make it easier if some of the songs are like distinctly worse.
Yeah, so I had to do 2 different brackets because I couldn't figure out how to make it go into each other. So we're gonna do Act 1, one bracket, Act 2, a second bracket, and then the winners of each bracket against each other.
Oh, okay, let's go.
Okay, so the first matchup is between That Would Be Enough and Meet Me Inside.
Oh, wait. Oh.
I would have to say That Would Be Enough because Meet Me Inside is like barely even a song, and also
Meet him inside is literally just like, meet him inside. Meet him inside.
well, it's also when he's doing the like, son, don't call me son.
Yeah, they're just talking.
Yeah, it's also like makes me nervous because it's like he's getting in trouble. I don't like that.
Yeah, secondhand embarrassment from the song. It loses.
Okay, That Would Be Enough wins.
Yes.
All right, the next one is What Comes Next and The Story of Tonight reprise.
Oh. Okay, I love What Comes Next because he goes, awesome. Wow.
Yeah, I'd have to say that one wins. I'm not as big of a fan as the reprise of Story of Tonight as opposed to the original. Also, I don't know if I'm saying reprise right, so I'm going to stop saying it.
Reprise. I think that's right.
Okay. So What Comes Next wins.
What Comes Next? Yes. We love the king.
Next is Wait For It versus Yorktown.
Oh my God, wait for it. That's not even a contest.
This is one of those things where it's like, Wait For It is a beautiful song that I love to listen to. Yorktown is, the performance is great. You know?
Yeah. But this is a song bracket.
Okay. I mean, I agree. I'd have to go for Wait For It because I love that and it's beautiful.
Wait for it? Consistently gives me shivers. Like it's amazing.
All right. Next is History Has Its Eyes on You versus Stay Alive.
Oh. I mean, I would like to note only that if I listen to the soundtrack on shuffle and Stay Alive comes on, I skip it because I don't want that sadness in my life at that moment.
Oh, this is not. Oh, wait. Stay Alive is. No. This is not where Philip dies.
It makes me
So
sad.
it's not the
still.
sad version.
But it's still just. They sound the same.
I mean, at the beginning they do. I don't know. I don't really have a strong preference between these two. I'm fine with History Has Its Eyes on You winning if you'd like that.
It also, yeah, because George Washington sings, and we get so little of that.
It is George Washington, and it's also the song, like you know how it repeats. So it's like the introduction to like this running theme.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty important.
Okay, the next is Satisfied against Dear Theodosia, and Satisfied has got to take it.
Satisfied absolutely wins, but I also love Dear Theodosia too.
Yeah, but against Satisfied, it has to be Satisfied.
Can't beat Satisfied.
Okay, Nonstop versus Helpless.
Oh, that's hard. I was singing Nonstop this morning. Okay, so today I opened at work, so I'm in the building by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, Nonstop, gentlemen of the jury, I'm curious, bear with me, like a huge weirdo. No one's there to hear me. I can sing if I want to.
I think I'd have to go with Nonstop.
It's just such a bop.
Helpless is good too, but I don't know. Between Helpless and Satisfied, I like Satisfied more.
Yes.
And I just really like Nonstop.
Nonstop, I think, is also just a great song to illustrate the competition between Burr and Hamilton. I mean, I know that's like a huge part of the whole musical, but I think that one's good because, they're like both lawyers, but
Yeah.
They're competing and they literally work next to each other.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
nonstop.
next is 10 Duel Commandments against Guns and Ships.
I don't really know either one of those songs very well.
Guns and Ships is where they're like Lafayette, and then where they're singing about how they have to get Hamilton back.
Oh, okay.
Which is good, but 10 Duel Commandments is also good. It's got a nice.
I mean, it's a very important song. That's how they teach us the 10 Duel Commandments so they can use them later.
This is a surprise song that will help us later.
Yes, exactly. I think I might just have to go with 10 Duel Commandments because I knew what that one sounded like upon hearing the title. And Guns and Ships, I did not remember.
But Lafayette is great and does a lot of cool rapping.
Yeah, but I can't do that rap. Not fast enough.
Okay, I'll say 10 Duel Commandments. That's fine.
That should be my homework, is to learn that rap. I won't perform it, but just for myself.
Know it. Okay. We're back at the top with Alexander Hamilton versus That Would Be Enough. And I think it's got to be Alexander Hamilton.
It's got to be Alexander Hamilton.
Okay, A Winter's Ball versus Right Hand Man. And I think Right Hand Man has to take that one because A Winter's Ball is barely anything.
Yeah, once again, hardly even a song.
It's just like a prelude to a real song.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay. This one might be more difficult. The Schuyler Sisters against What Comes Next.
Oh, no.
I think it has to be the Schuyler Sisters.
It has to be Schuyler Sisters. As much as I love The King, the songs with the ladies are so important to me.
This one's hard for me. It's Wait For It versus The Story of Tonight. And I love The Story of Tonight, but I think that Wait For It.
Wait For It? I just love it so much.
Take it a little. Okay.
I gotta.
My Shot versus History Has Its Eyes on You. I think I'd have to go with My Shot.
My Shot is practically iconic at this point. He's young, scrappy, and hungry.
Satisfied versus Farmer Refuted. I think this is fairly obvious.
Satisfied. I love Farmer Refuted, though. It's so cute, but it's not.
But
it's not Satisfied at all.
It's not Satisfied. It's also less of a song in a way. It's like it's fun, but it's just not quite there.
Not even a contest.
Okay, You'll Be Back versus Nonstop.
I just love Nonstop, man.
Yeah, it's a good one. Okay, The 10 Duel Commandments versus Aaron Burr, Sir. I might have to go with 10 Duel Commandments.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I mean, Aaron Burr.
It's Aaron Burr, Sir. Like, it's fine, but it's them talking, and it's like in between Alexander Hamilton and My Shot, where like it itself isn't that remarkable. It's just like the transition between the two.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Alexander Hamilton versus Right Hand Man. I would say Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah. It's just, can't even explain that one. It's just true and right.
It's just true. Okay. How about the Schuyler Sisters versus Wait For It?
Oh no. Ugh.
This one is difficult.
They're both so good. I mean,
No.
even like the performances of both of them are so fun. Like the Schuyler sisters, they're like walking and the stage is
Yeah.
spinning and they're so sassy.
Well, are we going for it based on performance or
Well,
your
no,
song?
not necessarily. I was just trying to come up with literally anything that would help me pick one. I don't know. The Schuyler sisters, though, I mean,
I don't know. I might have to say go for Wait For It for this one.
Oh,
It's difficult, but it's just so beautiful. And Leslie Odom Jr.'s voice is just so beautiful.
yes. Yeah, I'll go with that one. It's not.
The Schuyler Sisters is great, but I think that I would
People are
have
gonna
to...
fight us. Fight us by leaving a comment. Thank you.
Okay, My Shot versus Satisfied.
Satisfied.
Yeah, My Shot, great. Satisfied.
Satisfied.
I have a theory about what song might win this bracket. Okay,
Is it Satisfied?
yeah. Nonstop versus the 10 Dual Commandments. And this time, I think Nonstop is going to have
Non-stop. Gentlemen of the jury, I'm curious. Bear with me.
Okay, Alexander Hamilton versus Wait For It.
Oh, shoot. Well, at this point, that's just a contest between whether or not I'd like to hear Leslie or Lynn, and I think I'd like to hear Leslie.
That's fair. Wait For It is beautiful. There's such different energies, though it's difficult, but
Yeah.
Wait For It is beautiful. Okay, Satisfied versus Nonstop.
It's gotta be Satisfied.
Gotta be Satisfied.
It's just gotta be.
But now it's Satisfied versus Wait For It. And I would say it's gotta be Satisfied.
It's just gotta be Satisfied.
It's just gotta be.
Satisfied is all around perfect. It's got everything. Rapping, angelic singing, rewind.
Rewind. Okay, Act 2. So I just start tournament. Okay. Stay Alive, Reprise, or Blow Us All Away. So do you want the song where they sing about Philip dying or the song where Philip dies?
I
would have to say Blow Us All Away.
Blow Us All Away is...
Blow Us All Away.
Yeah, I love that opening. Let's go with that.
Okay, Best of Wives and Best of Women versus We Know. I don't like Best of Wives and Best of Women, so...
It's so short, and I'm already crying during it, so...
It's just kind of awkward. Hurricane versus Your Obedient Servant.
Oh.
I would have to say Hurricane. I really like that song. It's like Hamilton's Wait For It, like it's that...
Oh, that's a good point.
Beautiful, slow song.
Yes.
Your Obedient Servant also is like...
The only point about Your Obedient Servant that
like, hey, fight me.
Have to note is how unbelievably funny it is to be like, you bitch, and also writing with a quill, you bitch, you ruined my life, meet me at dawn, face to face, let's settle this. Love, your friend, A. Burr.
Are we agreed on Hurricane?
Yeah, Hurricane, though, is really something.
Okay, the election of 1800 versus the Reynolds pamphlet.
Oh, why is this harder than the first part?
Yeah. So both of these are like not what I would classify as not necessarily songs. You know what I mean?
These are like plot moving songs.
Yeah. And if we're going by just song, I don't know. The Reynolds pamphlet is good though.
Here's some things I will list. I will list things that I like about both. They will not help me decide at all, but I like to talk about them. I like the part in Reynolds pamphlet where they're like, have you ever seen somebody ruin their own life?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm too white to say it, but I have a fun time anyway. And then in the election of 1800, I love the whole part where the chorus is singing like, "Dear Mr. Hamilton." Na na
Yes.
na 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 na. I love that part.
We know it's lose.
Yes. It's so good. Oh, that's really hard. I don't know. Okay, but also the election of 1800 is pivotal to the end of the show. Like that's what pushes Burr over the edge.
Yeah. But the Reynolds pamphlet.
But also the Reynolds pamphlet leads to Burn.
Burn is beautiful. So if we're just going on song, I think I could go with the election of 1800. The Reynolds pamphlet, the like scene and everyone dancing around and the papers flying is great.
Very cool, yeah.
On song,
Just audio.
we can do the election of 1800.
I'd be okay with that.
Okay. The Adams administration versus the world was wide enough. I'm gonna have to say the world was wide enough. The Adams administration itself is barely a song.
Yeah. They're just like, well, we're in it anyway.
Anyway. Okay, who lives, who dies, who tells your story versus I know him.
Who lives, who dies?
Yeah. Burn or It's Quiet Uptown?
Oh,
I'd go with Burn.
Burn, absolutely. Even though It's Quiet Uptown makes me sob.
Okay, What Did I Miss versus Blow Us All Away? I think that's fairly
What
easy.
Did I Miss is such a bop.
Oh, okay. This one might be difficult considering our previous conversation. One Last Time versus Washington on Your Side.
No! Oh my god. Oh no.
I love both of these songs, but like I said, like my favorite song right now was Washington on Your Side.
This is so difficult. I was okay because like I said, I've successfully gotten my mother obsessed with this show. So she was playing Washington on Your Side this morning. It's just so good. And I mean, you got the whole gang.
It's just so good.
They're so good. But
The
Christopher Jackson makes my whole body just fall to the ground. His voice is so beautiful. He's going home. But Washington on Your Side is so good. I think I have to go with Washington on Your Side. It's just so fun.
Okay. I was always for that one. The Room
I
Where It
know.
Happened.
I just had to work through it.
We Know, and I think that one's The Room Where It Happens.
Room Where It Happened, that's just easy.
Oh, Hurricane versus Say No to This.
Okay. Here's something that I've come to realize is that watching on Disney Plus, I really did like Say No to This. I think before having seen that original cast recording, I was like, I mean, it's kind of annoying because literally they're yelling at him to not cheat on his wife. And he's like, I'm doing it anyway, and you have to watch. And I'm like, why? But I don't know, watching it now, I just appreciate it a little bit more. It's a fun song.
It is fun. But Hurricane,
we've already established, is important.
It's kind of ironic that these two are against each other. Because, Hurricane is him singing about, like, how does he face the consequences of Say No to This?
Mm-hmm.
In a really dumb way.
I think Hurricane.
Yeah, that's a good one.
How do I keep this secret? I won't.
Take a Break versus the election of 1800.
I just really like the election of 1800.
Yeah.
Take a Break is fun.
It's good. It's not one of my favorites, though. It's just, like, kind of there.
Yeah.
If anyone listening is a huge Take a Break fan, I'm sorry, but...
I mean, I love a good Take a Break, but... I mean, you've got the Schuyler Sisters. That's your song with the ladies in it.
Okay, so this is The World Was Wide Enough versus Schuyler Defeated, and The World Was Wide Enough.
The World Was Wide Enough. Schuyler Defeated is another one of those songs where you're like, oh, okay, well.
Cabinet Battle number 2 versus Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story.
Who Lives?
Yeah, the first Cabinet Battle is better. Okay, but now it's Burn versus Cabinet Battle number 1.
Uh-oh. I mean, Burn? I like how I just start talking about a song, but then I have no reason to defend why it's any better.
I like Cabinet Battle number 1. I like the energy of it. I like them arguing. I like him just, like, telling Jefferson off for being stupid. Burn is good, and it's beautiful. They just have such different energies to them.
Yeah, they're complete opposites.
Yeah.
Cabinet Battle 1 is really fun, though.
I think I'd have to go with that one.
It's just... And it's such a unique approach, too. Yeah, I'd go with that one.
Okay, What Did I Miss versus Washington on Your Side.
Oh, God. I just love What Did I Miss
I
so
do
much.
too, but I love Washington on Your Side.
Like, Jefferson is such an asshole, but what a great song.
Well, he's still an asshole in Washington on Your Side.
I know, but in this one, in What Did I Miss, it's just so jazzy. I don't know. He just got home.
What Did I Miss? We can go with that one.
He just got home, and now he's headed up to New York.
We're fine.
Yes!
The Room Where It Happens versus Hurricane.
Oh.
I think The Room Where It Happens.
Yeah.
I like that one. The Election of 1800 versus The World Was Wide Enough.
The Election of 1800. Can we get back to politics?
I like that we had such a hard time with the first battle the Election of 1800 was in, and now it's just, like, swept. Everything.
Well, once we've established that it's better, then...
Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story versus Cabinet Battle number 1.
This is hard because
I'd have to go with Cabinet Battle number 1.
I think I'd have to go with that too. As much I have to detach how the end of the show makes me feel and just focus on what the song is.
Yeah.
So Cabinet Battle 1.
What Did I Miss versus The Room Where It Happens.
Oh no.
Both great songs.
Oh. I mean, The Room Where It Happens is really good.
It's really good. I think between the two of them, I would say The Room Where It Happens.
I would be okay with that.
What Did I Miss is great, but...
Because we can't make them tie.
The Election of 1800 versus Cabinet Battle number 1. I think I'd still go with Cabinet Battle number 1.
Yeah.
Just it's more of a song than the Election of 1800.
True.
Even though the Election of 1800 did beat out
is a rap battle.
Other songs, but I just don't think it can beat Cabinet Battle number 1.
Yeah.
Room Where It Happens or Cabinet Battle number 1. I would say Room Where It Happens.
Room Where It Happens.
So that's the end of Act 2. So then the final is The Room Where It Happens versus Satisfied.
Oh.
And I think it's just got to be Satisfied.
It's got to be Satisfied. I like how we're not having any struggle.
No.
Some of those songs, I'm like, there's just no competition. You can't. I mean, yeah, obviously they're all great. We've got that.
Well, most of them. Some of them are
Most of
like,
them. Satisfied is. It's just
you
there's
just
nothing
can't
like it.
compete.
Literally can't. It's the winner. I would love to hear what other people's favorite songs are. There's just so much to offer.
Yes, I want to know song like listening to versus also seeing. Because I think it's
Yes.
different.
Oh my God. I have a question for you.
What?
Did you cry watching it? And if so, how hard?
No.
Oh,
I almost did at the end, but I was with my family, so I didn't.
I will establish that I will cry for a movie if they give me even a little bit of like a it's sad kind of vibe. I'm like, oh shit, I'm already crying. So I started crying when Philip died because that's
Mm-hmm.
really sad. So I was crying, but then I dried my tears. I soaked them up, and then I started crying again during Best of Wives and Best of Women, which makes no sense because that part's not sad, but I already know what's happening. So I started crying when she was like, come back to sleep. And I'm like, go back to sleep, Alex, please, God. And, okay, but also I was watching with my family too, and they'd never seen it. So I was trying to be quiet. But
Yeah.
I'm like a really gaspy crier if I get going. So instead I was like trying to be really still and quiet about it. So my bottom lip was quivering to the point that I almost made myself laugh because it would if any of my family members had looked over at me, my bottom lip was like freaking out because I was trying to hold in my wail of sadness. And then I cried all the way through to the end. And Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story, I'm like, I can barely even see the TV. My eyes are so blurry with tears.
Yeah.
And then my family looked over, and because at the end, then I finally like let loose my death rattle sob, and they all looked over and they're like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, oh, it's so sad and good. And they're like, oh my God.
I almost cried during Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story, but then I didn't. I'm pretty sure the first time I listened to the soundtrack, I did cry when Philip died.
I
Because I
think
was
I, I
by myself.
I think I got close, but I think watching it makes it way sadder. And I mean, also with the way that they filmed it,
Yeah,
you get close-ups on all of them, and they're so sad.
when Eliza like sobs and screams when he
Yes.
died. That's not in the soundtrack. That was sad.
Oh my God. Oh, and then I've seen a lot of people have been talking about this. I've seen it on Twitter and also on TikTok because both of those places for me right now are all Hamilton all the time. That Eliza's gasp at like the very end of the show
Yeah.
it was making people some people were saying that they hadn't really been crying before that, like they were sad, but her gasp made them like burst into tears or just completely break down. And I had basically the same reaction, but I was already sobbing, so her gasp made me also like gasp, and then I cried very loudly. It's just so emotional, really
I've seen
cathartic too. If you need a good cry and you want to enjoy yourself up until that point that you start crying, Hamilton.
I've seen different theories about Eliza's gasp at the end.
Yes. I I honestly I never really thought that there were any. I mean, of course there's different interpretations cuz you can think what you want, but I always thought it was her seeing the audience.
Yeah, so did I. Like saying, "Oh, this is your story, and these people are
Yeah.
watching it." But
Like,
then I've
yeah,
seen people talk about like, is it her dying and seeing Hamilton again?
Yeah, and I mean, I would believe that too, or I could see how people would think that. But
But it's
but
the way she like
Hamilton
steps into the light
Hamilton is
and
the one
looks
who
out.
leads her to the front of the stage too.
Yeah,
So she's not seeing him, she's breaking the fourth wall,
yeah.
and it makes me just I was just a puddle of tears, man. Really, if you ever are in the room with me and we're watching a movie that's even a little bit sad, just don't look at me.
Yeah, it's like when we listen to the end of the Adventure Zone.
Yes, Kaylee has seen me break down. And I'm not a cute crier either. It's very ugly all the way through. And for several minutes after, because it makes my whole face blotchy, my eyes are red. I mean, it's definitely something. I just don't understand. Like I react so strongly. I guess I just save up all my tears until it's time to cry and then I fire them out real fast.
I just don't cry at things if I'm with other people.
I have no choice. I'm crying.
Like
If I hold it in, it won't work.
I watched Little Women in the theater with my grandma, and I was like nearly sobbing the whole time.
The whole time.
Not the whole time, but
I had never seen that movie, but I didn't think it was.
well, because it flashes back and forth, so then it's like, oh, there's sadness here, and then they move on to something else, but then they go back, and there's like, oh, more sadness, time to cry again.
Oh no. Okay, so I watch a lot of stuff with my mom, and the way that our living room is set up, the chair that she sits in is like slightly in front of where I normally sit. So if we're watching something together and it's sad and I start crying, she doesn't usually notice until she hears me like either sniffle or I have to get up and like get a Kleenex. And then she hears the Kleenex box and then she'll like turn around and kind of give me this pity look like, oh, poor thing, she's crying. And I'm like, why aren't you crying? This is very sad. And so, I mean, there's a little bit of embarrassment there, but that's just because, I'm always the only person crying. No one else is. Even though it could be something very, very sad. I think everyone around me is just not a crier, and I'm the only crier.
Yeah.
I think my brother also almost cried because he told me later that evening after we watched it that he was surprised by how emotional it was because he had heard the soundtrack. But so I think he had the same experience as me watching it for the first
Yeah.
time, where I was like, Jesus, was it this sad before? But I don't think he cried all the way. But it almost had him.
My
We
family
could have
wasn't paying
cried
enough
together.
to cry or be
What?
sad. My family wasn't paying enough attention to be sad.
Yeah, rude. When you don't feel like being sad, so you just sit on your phone during the sad parts so you don't pay attention.
True.
Amazing.
Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
Um, no, I think that's it. Oh, I mean, the top of my list was Jonathan Groff's spit. I don't know. Did you have anything else to add about that?
No, did you see that TikTok I sent you?
Yes, I did.
I read an article that mentioned his spit, and then we were watching the TV was on. There was something about Hamilton on, and I could just see them talking about Jonathan Groff's spit.
I mean, the poor guy, this recording is several years old, and now this is going around, and he's probably like, guys, that's just how you sing.
Yeah,
If you're singing really hard, you're
they were
gonna get spitty.
to him, and he was like, "Yeah, I always just have that much spit." He was in a Little Shop of Horrors in a smaller intimate theater, and so they're like, "Yeah, you just are in the splash zone."
Yes, your seats are right here. Please hold up the program to block the spit. You're welcome.
Yeah, wear goggles, like a face shield.
Oh my God.
Well, anyway, John the Graph has a lot of spit. Hamilton the musical is a good musical. People are terrible. They're real
It's
people.
really good. I don't know. I mean, it's on Spotify and you don't miss any of the plot by listening to it. So just like go for it.
Yeah, I can't imagine how anybody listening to our podcast wouldn't have already heard and seen Hamilton, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We have like 2, maybe 3 consistent viewers and they all have seen it.
yeah.
So we can, I mean, you can just comment what your favorite songs are. That would be
And
fun.
what does the P stand for this time?
Oh, the P? Absolutely. I thought of this last night as I fell asleep. The P has to stand for Peggy.
Oh, well, I was just going to say Alexander Hamilton.
No, that doesn't. The P stands for and Peggy.